Okay, time for a new video. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. This is yet another Eurovision related video here on my channel, and today I am continuing this little series of videos that I've been filming on my channel over the past couple of months, where I focus on one country and one country only, and that nation's entries at the Eurovision Song Contest over the past decade, 2015 to 2025. And today I am turning my attention to Italy, and that is because Italy topped a poll that I put up on my community/posts page here on YouTube quite some time ago now, and as I go through all of Italy's entries over the past 10 years, I will be roughly ranking them in order of preference in this little blue notebook that I have. Feel free to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below, and as always there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. I want to take this opportunity to say that there will be one more video in this series after this one you're watching now, and then I will be putting it on hiatus for some time. That poll has already been up on my community/posts page for a couple of days now. Go and cast your vote if you so wish. I think Portugal is leading the way as I speak to you now, and also I know it's been quite some time since I filmed a video, and the reason for that is just because I've been focusing on other things, mainly work related matters, and also the motivation to film hasn't necessarily been there. But now I'm slowly easing back into things, and I'm going to be talking about Italy's entries over the past decade. Italy, I'm sure all Eurovision fans will agree with me here when I say they are one of the holy trinity of nations at the Eurovision Song Contest, alongside Ukraine and Sweden. They are consistently great when it comes to the ESC, and Italy have had some absolutely cracking entries over the years. They've only won 3 times, back in the early 60s with Gigliola Cinquetti, in 1990 with Toto Cutugno, and of course in 2021 at the reduced capacity crowd Eurovision in Rotterdam with Zitti e Buoni by Måneskin. They have completed the golden hat trick of Eurovision wins. They've won with a male soloist, they've won with a female soloist, and they've won with a band made up of several guys and one woman. You could say they've completed Eurovision. And every year we expect quality. Now, of course, they don't have a national final. They have the older than Eurovision itself, Sanremo Music Festival, which takes place in Sanremo on the northwest coast of Italy every year. And it's a really big deal. Established names, newcomers. It goes on for ages and ages and ages, several nights a week. And it's just fabulous. I'm sure it's incredibly expensive to get tickets for it. You've got some very serious looking businessmen in the crowd every year, but you know you're going to hear some top quality music from some of the very best artists in Italy. Absolutely fabulous stuff. So, without further ado, let's get cracking. And it's going to be difficult to rank these songs in order of preference because they're all pretty darn good. Now, you'll have to bear with me because I am going to be clicking backwards and forwards, but here we go, rolling back the years to Vienna 2015. And at the time, I was convinced Italy were going to win that Vienna staged competition. Coming into it that May, I thought, okay, Sweden are there, they might do it. And of course they did. Russia are there, they might do it. They didn't. Australia were debuting that year, they could do it. Belgium are coming up on the rails like you wouldn't believe. It's certainly not going to be Electro Velvet. But I was absolutely sure, in my own mind, that Il Volo with Grande Amore, big love, grand love, large love, however way you want to translate it, I felt sure they were going to really win very comfortably, but it wasn't to be. This song was last on in the running order, 292 points in the end. If we take a look at the split results, they won the public vote by a very comfortable margin, 366 big ones. That is a huge score even under the current voting system. Russia was second, Sweden third. Now in the jury vote it was a different story. Italy was sixth with 184 points. Sweden, 363. Now, okay, you look at Heroes by Måns Zelmerlöw. It's a fairly slick, well-delivered piece of pop. It's in it to win it, and of course it did win. But the fact that it had 363 points and Italy had 184 in the jury half of the results that year, that's never really sat right with me. Okay, I can sort of understand Belgium being a little bit higher. Latvia was second. I don't know. That just doesn't sit right with me. Anyway, however the votes were smushed together back then, Italy ended up third, Russia second, not that far ahead to be fair, and Sweden won fairly comfortably in the end. Now, Il Volo have been making music together for a number of years. It's three guys. Piero, Ignazio and Gianluca, they've been in Sanremo several times since. Their genres are operatic pop and classical crossover, and they've released a whole bunch of albums, and they were there as part of an interval in Turin in 2022. Piero is a spinto tenor, Ignazio is a lyric tenor, and Gianluca is a lyric baritone. And they are all younger than me, which for some reason feels quite depressing looking at that. But there we are. Grande Amore. Let's take a look at it here. So, what does it say? What does it say? I think I'm on the wrong page here. Yes, you'll have to bear with me. Dear oh dear. Here we go. Italy in the Eurovision Song Contest. Here we go. I'm just doing this because it will explain things a little bit better than I ever could. So they won Sanremo, of course. When it came down to the final three, they were last, third out of three in the jury section of the Sanremo final, which is quite remarkable. Interestingly, the televote had them way out in front, and that's what caused them to win in the first place. The stage show featured the three members of Il Volo on stage dressed in dark suits. Now, I've watched this performance back several times. It feels a bit awkward. They don't have microphone stands, so they're sort of moving about the stage a little bit, looking a little bit awkward, maybe a tad clumsy. They look very snappy, it must be said. Some smouldering looks into the camera. The harmonies are great. The vocals, top quality. The crowd went absolutely wild for this one. Like I said, at the time I thought they had it in the bag. The staging was kept simple, focusing attention onto the song and the performers. The background LED screens projected images of Roman columns, statues and busts, with large billowing clouds of smoke displayed during the chorus. The stage lighting and colours were darker at the start of the song and intensified as the performance progressed. I also need to do this. Do I have it here? No, I don't. What I can tell you is when I load up this spreadsheet, you can tell I'm really prepared for this video. It's been a while since I filmed. My 2015 ranking, which should be updated at some point in the future, has Il Volo as my number 3 of that year, as was the case in real life, of course. Let me just load this up. Italy, Il Volo. Yes, my number 3 of 2015. So there we go. It's a great song. It definitely is sort of classical crossover. Very accessible. Like I said, vocally sublime. It's a really, really lovely song. Maybe a little bit predictable in the way that it builds up. Maybe lyrically it's not doing anything that fancy. The music video is quite cool. Spoofs of certain, romance scenes in movies and Back to the Future. Fantastic. Certainly a song that I still listen to this day. We move on to 2016. Now, this was one of the rare instances where the winner of Sanremo did not go to Eurovision. The winner of Sanremo that year, just before the Stockholm competition, was a group called Stadio with Un giorno mi dirai. Great song, but they said no thanks, no grazie, to Eurovision, and instead the runner-up, the great Francesca Michelin, went to Stockholm instead with the song Nessun grado di separazione, no degree of separation. Just bear with me. Got to turn the plug on. So this song, written by a whole group of people, including Federica Abate, who is still only in her early 30s, but she's written loads of songs for pretty much every major Italian musician you can think of, and if she entered Sanremo as a soloist, I would be very interested to hear her song. Anyway, Francesca, I've kept up with her career over the years. She was born in February 1995. She is a pop, rock and EDM musician, 30 years of age. She's released a whole bunch of albums. I believe that she has something to do with the Italian X Factor. Absolutely. She was the host of it. Whether she still is or not, I'm not entirely sure. She's won and been nominated for a whole bunch of awards as well. She was the runner-up in Sanremo a couple of years ago with a song called Chiamami per nome, which is fantastic too, alongside Fedez. And she's also been a conductor at Sanremo. So this is a woman who can pretty much do everything. Anyway, this song is about overcoming personal isolation and recognizing the fundamental connection between all people. It has themes of human unity and connection, personal growth and overcoming fear, and emotional closeness. Now, the performance, I think, went over people's heads quite a bit. If we take a look at it here, she was on a grass-covered platform performing in a jumpsuit and surrounded by various stage props including flowers, fruits, balloons and diamonds. The stage lighting was predominantly blue, there was a large green tree and blue skies on the backdrop behind her, and she had 2 off-stage backing vocalists. When it came to the result, she finished 16th with 124 points. Quite disappointing, a bit of a blip on the radar for Italy at Eurovision. But this song is just really easygoing, it's really beautiful, it's very tender. If we take a look at the split results, we can see that Italy were 13th in the jury vote, 18th in the public vote. Really quite disappointing. And I can tell you that Francesca is my number 2 of the 2016 competition. Not a great deal else to say about that one. But now we move on to one of my most listened to Eurovision songs of all time, Occidentali's Karma by the ultra-charismatic Francesco Gabbani. He's been in Sanremo a couple of times since. He was the runner-up with Vice Versa. I think he was the runner-up a couple of years ago. And he had a song earlier this year called Viva la Vita, which was also really beautiful. Anyway, this was the Kyiv competition. And here we had a real difference between the Sanremo performance and how it was portrayed at Eurovision. At Sanremo, it was lively, it was colourful, it was energetic, he was smartly dressed, you had the man in the gorilla costume, even those stony-faced businessmen in the crowd were starting to clap along a little bit to this one. They were having a good time, tapping their toes. At Eurovision, there was no orchestra, it was a much bigger stage, and it sort of fell flat. Which is strange, because the crowd were having a great time, the simple dance move, the rain effect on the backdrop, the umbrella flying by, the gorillas on the backdrop as well. It was fun. And I was sure this was absolutely a serious contender to win. And then Portugal came along and said, actually, we're going to win by a mile, and Bulgaria had a huge score too. And this just sort of fell to one side a little bit, which is a real shame, because it was such a huge hit at the time, and so many fans were convinced this was going to be the winner. But it just goes to show what's the word I'm looking for here? Momentum can fade just as much as it can build up in the lead-up to a Eurovision Song Contest. Anyway, Francesco has released a whole bunch of albums over the years. He's in his early 40s. He's from Carrara, and he's also been nominated for a couple of awards. This year, he became a mentor on the 19th season of The X Factor Italy, which, as we've just established, I believe is still presented by Francesca Michelin, but I'm not entirely sure. 334 points, 6th place. In the split results, he was 6th with the public and a little bit lower than that with the juries. He was 7th in the jury vote, 6th overall. This is my comfortable winner of the 2017 competition. Do I have anything to say about this? I've just realised I'm not even ranking the songs as I go along, so apologies for that. But the song, it's a really clever tune, this. It's energetic, it's quirky, and really it's the sort of track that you need to look up and research a little bit to truly understand what the hell is going on, to be honest with you. The song is essentially about a critique of modern Western society's superficiality and its trend of adopting Eastern spirituality and practices without genuine understanding or depth. Its themes include superficiality and consumerism. That was my stomach, excuse me. The song itself is inspired by Desmond Morris's late 60s book, The Naked Ape, which is why there is an ape on stage. There's pop culture references, Pantare, which is ancient Greek for everything flows, and Occidentali's Karma. Occidentali's itself is not grammatically correct in Italian. So it says here that it's poking fun at the common tendency in Italian popular culture to over-anglicise the language to appear more cool or international. It's catchy. It's such a fun tune. I'm repeating myself. It's an absolute gem. And I really can see Francesco coming back to represent Italy through Sanremo at some point in the very near future. I think he has another ESC performance in him. Moving on to 2018. And I'm going to have to click this. A very different Italian entry now for the Lisbon 2018 competition, and quite a difference of opinion between the public and the juries here. For some reason, Italy finished 3rd in the public vote, but was 17th in the jury vote, and I don't really know why. That year, it was a male double act. They've both been in Sanremo separately several times. Ermal Meta and Fabrizio Morro. Ermal, with the curly hair, is 44, actually from Albania, released a whole bunch of albums. Fabrizio, whose voice at the end of this performance sounded as though his throat had been coated in sandpaper, is 50 years of age, from Rome. Has he won Sanremo? He has. Yes, obviously, in 2018, but he won the newcomers section in 2007 as well. Released a whole bunch of songs, including his most recent album in 2023. So there you go. And this was just a sort of match made in heaven, really. It was a really powerful tune, red lighting. You had Ermal in a sort of blue suit, Fabrizio in black, and you had lyrics in different languages appearing on screen as well. That sort of worked for Italy and the English translation of their song this year in Basel. And as the song progressed, they moved to either side of the stage and then met up in the middle again, and were really going forward. It's got quite a jaunty rhythm. I've written here, the song is about conflicts and casualties and trauma, and it mentions pointless wars, and I suppose it's about standing up in the face of these tragedies and saying, you can't hurt us, you can't do anything to me. So it's a very, very powerful track in that regard. Yeah, I've written jaunty rhythm here. I think I have a translation of the lyrics somewhere, but I can't load it up. It's just tremendous. It's just tremendous. And I have nothing else really to say about it. The song finished 5th overall, 308 points. And if we take a look at my ranking, Italy, who were last on in the running order again that year, my number 11 of the 2018 competition. Non mi avete fatto niente. And the music video is well worth watching too. I think it just struck a chord with so many people. It was the quite comfortable winner of Sanremo that year. Annalisa finished 3rd. That's a shame, but there we are. Moving on now to 2019, and this was something completely different again for Italy. It was Mahmoud with Soldi. Mahmoud has been at Eurovision twice. I'll talk about his 2022 entry later on. His first name is Alessandro. He was born in September 1992 in Milan. He's 33. He's released a whole bunch of albums, including one last year, and he also did a voice in the Italian dub of The Little Mermaid. So this song is Soldi, which means money. And if we take a look at the Sanremo results, out of the final 3, he was 3rd in the televote, which is interesting. Il Volo were there, and Ultimo too. So this song, Soldi Clap Clap, this was the Tel Aviv competition. The song is about Mahmoud's relationship with his absent father and the theme of money. And it was quite a gritty looking performance, this. He was in a red and gold shirt, dancers with red circles on them, on their outfits. You had falling money, flames, phrases, sort of images tearing apart and splitting up on the screen behind him. It was really quite interesting. I have to say, I've never really adored this song. And I've never really adored the way it was presented. Mahmoud, I think, has a very casual way of performing, even though this is a fairly up-tempo track. But it sort of worked. This wasn't that far away from winning the competition. If we take a look at my personal ranking of the 2019 competition, Italy, my number 7 of that year. It talks about money being a priority for the father figure. Mahmoud described the song as a personal outburst. There's various references to his childhood, including Jackie Chan. There's also an Arabic interlude, which translates to my son, love, come here. I do have the English translation of the lyrics here as well. You only thought about money, money, as if I had any money, money. Tell me whether you miss me or you don't give a damn, give a damn. You used to ask me how you doing, how you doing, how you doing. Now how things are going, how things are going, how things are going, and so on. What else have I written here? Not a great deal. I think I've covered all bases. It really is a fairly gritty, somewhat casually delivered tune. And I think at the time, if anything, this was flying under the radar just a tad. I don't remember a lot of people saying Italy are going to win, and then they weren't that far away. If we take a look at the split results, clicking backwards and forwards several times, of course, Italy, second place, third in the public vote, fourth in the jury vote. We now move on to the 2020 cancelled competition, and this was just absolutely sensational because I think a lot of people started saying, wow, had the contest gone ahead, this could have been our winner. It was Diodato with Fai Rumore, You Make Noise. His first name's Antonio. He's from Aosta. He's 44 years of age, released a whole bunch of albums, including a live studio session last year. Fai Rumore went to #1 in Italy, and during the pandemic, when people were cooped up inside, people were singing this from their balconies in Italy. It was a really, really powerful thing. I've written here, his performance in the Arena di Verona was absolutely majestic. The lighting, the fact that it was an empty space, it was just absolutely stunning. And I don't like using that word stunning, but it really was. It was just absolutely wonderful. And he was there, he performed this as part of an interval in Turin 2 years later. That was tremendous as well. It's this soaring melody, quite emotional, packs a punch, really, really beautiful, builds up to what I would say is a very satisfying conclusion. If we take a look at the English translation of the lyrics, I go around without talking, without a place to arrive. I wear my shoes out, and maybe my shoes know well where to go. You make noise, yes, that I can't stand it. This unnatural silence between you and me. And that lyric in particular, very poignant considering the pandemic that was happening at the time. I really like this. It is my number 6, I think. No, it's my number 7 of the 2020 competition. Now we move on, of course, to when Italy finally got their third win. This was Måneskin, Zitti e Buoni. They've gone on to do incredible things. I think they're on hiatus at the moment. Damiano, the charismatic lead singer, he's released a solo album, which I need to check out. Victoria has been doing some DJ stuff all over Europe recently. Can't say I'm a big fan of that stuff, but she's a beautiful woman and a great bassist. And then, of course, you've got Ethan and Thomas as well. Måneskin, which is the Danish word for moonshine, I believe. They came to prominence on the X Factor in 2017, finishing second in Italy. They're from Rome. They've released a couple of albums, all of which have done quite well. They've performed on American television. Obviously, they won Sanremo. They won Eurovision. They've done incredible things. And if we take a look, they won Sanremo, beating Francesca Michelin, who I've already mentioned, and Ermal Meta, who I've already mentioned. This performance was quite something. You had Damiano there strutting away on the stage in this sort of burgundy, sort of dungaree type outfit, I suppose, something like that, and the other band members around him in similar attire. The drummer at the back. You had sort of silhouettes of the band members on the backdrop, and then it went red at one stage, and then we had loads of pyro and sort of sparks flying, lights flashing across the arena in Rotterdam. Absolutely fantastic. It was confident. It was sort of dirty rock. Something so different for Italy at Eurovision. The Sanremo performance with the orchestra was absolutely tremendous. That's well worth checking out if you haven't done so. The camera panning around Victoria and Damiano as well towards the final third. That was great. Everything about this felt like it was their concert and not actually Eurovision. And if we take a look at the split results, this was the public winner by quite some margin. If we take a look here, yes, 318 points, fourth in the jury vote, but it was enough to see Italy win overall. I have nothing else to say about this. It's a tremendous tune. I've watched the performance back many, many times. Do I have the translation of the lyrics here? I don't think so, but really this song is about non-conformity, embracing that, fighting prejudice, celebrating your uniqueness. We're different from them. We're out of our minds, etc., etc. We now move on to 2022, and this is a song that is very different. This was on home soil, of course. It's Brividi, which means chills, something like that, shivers, performed by Mahmoud and Blanco. So Blanco is a big star, born in February 2003. He's from Brescia, and he's released a whole bunch of songs over the years as well. So you've got Mahmoud, smartly dressed, with this beautiful tone to his voice, and then Blanco comes in, sort of head banging away. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? You've got, I think, was there a piano on stage? Can't quite remember. I think so, because one of them stood on top of it. And you had this sparkly effect to proceedings as well in Turin. It's a song about masculinity and not really being sure how to tell somebody you love them. And I suppose it could be interpreted as platonic love or romantic love. I suppose it's anybody's decision how they interpret it. The crowd sang along. That was very beautiful. I don't absolutely adore this track. I like it, but it's not one that I really gravitate to a lot when I'm deciding to listen to Eurovision songs. Don't have the translation of the lyrics in front of me, but it's just a really, really pretty track, and I think it was just a really gorgeous moment in the grand final that year. Two big stars representing the host nation, and you can tell at the end when they embraced each other. It was clearly quite the song for them to sing together. If we take a look at the ranking, my personal ranking, Italy is my number 9 of the 2022 competition, and I should say Zitti e Buoni is my number 1, my winner of 2021. Don't really have a great deal else to say about it. Yes, there was a piano, absolutely. We move on now to a ballad in 2023. Actually, no we don't, because if we take a look at the split results of the 2022 competition, we have... if it loads up here, bear with me. Apologies if there was any lag. Italy were 8th in the public vote in 2022, 7th tied with Greece in the jury vote. Moving on now, yes, to 2023, the Liverpool competition. Marco Mengoni was back, such a big star. He was born in December, Christmas Day, 1988, from Ronciglione. He's been making music since 2009. He was representing Italy in 2013 with L'Essenziale, which reached the top 10. He's won loads of awards, loads of albums. And here he was with Due Vite, Two Lives. And this is a song which is, fairly emotional, I would say. It's about drifting apart, coming back together. A sort of internal conflict, not really too sure about who you are or what you're doing. I'm not explaining this too well. The performance, he was in this sort of sparkly vest on the sort of secondary stage, closer to the audience in Liverpool. You had dancers behind him, sort of jumping up and down with these steps, and some lovely sort of sweeping camera shots, vocally really going for it towards the end, very emotionally charged. This is just an absolutely beautiful song, and I think people were underrating it a little bit. It was always bound to do quite well. It's my number 7 of the Liverpool competition, and I don't have a great deal else to say about it. Marco, I can see him coming back to Sanremo sooner rather than later. I would not be surprised if he is the Italian representative again in the near future. We now move on. No, we don't. Split results. I'm always forgetting this. Due Vite was, I think it was 4th overall, wasn't it? Yes, 350 points in the split results, 3rd in the jury vote, 6th with the public. Not too shabby at all. Moving on to 2024, we had La Noia, Boredom. Finally, a solo female act for Italy again. This was Angelina Mango, whose father was a musician and her mother a musician who's been at Sanremo. Yes, former vocalist of Mattia Bazzar. Anyway, she's 24, Angelina. Mango is her surname. She's from Maratea. She's released 1 album, and she was on Amici di Maria De Filippi, which is this huge sort of televised reality singing competition which has been going for absolutely ages. Yes, MTV European Music Award nomination, blah, blah, blah. Beautiful, beautiful woman. This song... it's a little bit Latin, it's a little bit saucy in terms of its sound. The Sanremo performance was arguably stronger than the Eurovision performance, I think it's fair to say. She looked fantastic at Eurovision, had a bunch of dancers. There was this throne made of thorns, and you had thorns and vines and roses on the backdrop behind her in Malmö. Yeah, a little bit of dancing. There's this a cappella moment in the final third, which I think is really powerful as well. Quite a gothic feel to proceedings. And this is my number 4 of last year's competition. The song is about reclaiming boredom, dancing through your difficulties, accepting that actually maybe not everything is as bad as it seems, have a bit of a dance, cumbia, la noia, and so on and so forth. And also, you could interpret it as having a bit of a feminist slant too. Do have the translation of the lyrics somewhere, but I'm not going to load them up. If we take a look at the split result, we have Italy were 7th with the public, not bad, and 4th with the juries. And that, of course, leaves Lucio Corsi, who represented Italy this year in Basel with the song Volevo essere un duro, I wanted to be a tough guy. Okay, sorry if there was a little bit of a pause there, I just had to do something else. So, Volevo essere un duro. Well, this is just a gorgeous song that really crept up on me over the Eurovision season. He did not win Sanremo, instead it was Oli with Ballorta Nostalgia, I think it was called. And if you ask me, that song would not have done as well at Eurovision as Volevo essere un duro. There, Lucio was, very striking performer, a bit of the David Bowie about him, with the sort of white face makeup, sort of transparent black top, big, exaggerated golden shoulder pads. I think it was the co-songwriter off to one side pretending to play the guitar. There was a harmonica, which I think was live. That was tremendous. Big stereo props as well. A bit of a smoky atmosphere. Not much going on in terms of the lighting. Really, really beautiful. We had the English translation on screen as well. And this is a song about just accepting who you are. I'm just Lucio. And all of these things that maybe you wanted to be when you were young, but then you sort of accept yourself, flaws and all, as a grown man. Lucio, for the record, this was just really wonderful. Really wonderful. I think the result was absolutely justified. 5th place, 256 points. He is 31, so he's a little bit younger than me, from Grosseto. He's released 4 albums, including one earlier this year which went to number 1 and has a gold certification in his homeland. If we take a look at the split results, Italy were 10th with the public, 4th with the juries, and in my ranking, my number 11 of this year's competition. I've watched this back loads of times. It's just so gentle and sweet and heartfelt, and I've written here it's classy and very, very mellow. Some strings as well in the instrumentation. It just looked really great. It was very engaging, even though there wasn't really a great deal happening at all. The piano, like I said, the other chap with the guitar, lovely stuff. So, after that massive ramble, do bear with me. So we've got 2015, 2016, 2017, I can put 2021 there. 2018, I might put there. 2019, I'm going to put there. 2020, oh blimey, I might put 2020 there. 2022, I'm going to put some high notes in that track for sure. I don't know about that. Due Vite, I'm going to put there for now. Lanoia, I'm going to put there for now. And then this year, Volevo essere un duro, I'm going to put there for now. So it's just Brividi, which I think I'm going to put... Yeah, I might put that there, actually. So there we go, bottom to top in order of preference. 2022 bottom, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2025, 2024, 2016, 2023, 2015, 2017, 2021. So Måneskin top of the pile, which might not come as a surprise to anybody watching this video. Let me know your ranking in the comments down below. And apologies for rambling big time. Hopefully this has turned out okay, including when I had to pause it a few moments ago. I'll be back with another Eurovision related video fairly soon. Until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Ciao for now.